are based on funding.
Excellent.
Complement enormous cultural talent that has come out of the Garvey, out of the music of Jamaica.
I'm out of time, gentlemen. Professor Lewis, thank you very much. Bert Samuels, thank you as always, sir. Much obliged. And we'll talk again. This has been a lead story here on CVM TV. Marcus Garvey, pardoned twice now, 2 US presidents. Now we are getting fresh impetus towards the push for exoneration. And I must tell you that it's a certain pleasure that I take discussing this issue, because Marcus Garvey should never have a criminal record against him. We all know the charges were trumped up, as I said, pun intended, and it's time for the slate to be wiped clean and for Garvey's pristine record to stand beside his name and his figure. That's my time. Nika Lewis is back from, was it vacation or did the flu tie her down like the Australian kangaroo? Anyway, she's looking resplendent today as she waits in the wings to present the news at 7.
Yeah, man, you don't know a 2 Locks 876 Rebel, and I represent for CVM. See it happen.
It's Tuesday, January 21, 2025. This is CVM News at noon. I'm Ramon Gordon. 3 people, including 2 women, were arrested during an early morning operation in Jerusalem Mountain, Westmoreland on Monday. Police say around 4 a.m. officers searched the premises occupied by the trio and found a pistol with several rounds of ammunition in a chicken coop on the property. The identities of the suspects are being withheld as investigations continue. The Savannah Lamar police say operations will be intensified as part of efforts to crack down on gunmen and illegal firearms in the parish. Religious leaders are ramping up efforts to restore peace in south-central Jamaica, starting in Porus. Churches in the area have cancelled night services as police curfews persist. Britannia Witter has the details.
In an effort to restore peace and bring healing to the community of Porus, Manchester, church leaders have come together to host a series of events aimed at addressing the violence and the turmoil that rocked the parish last year, prompting a tour from the Minister of National Security. The move follows a spate of murders and heightened tensions that left the community reeling and still under a curfew.
We see in recent times the crime that is taking place in Porus. I think even though Porus is still on the state of curfew that was called this morning. And so we really see that the church need to be involved. And so we feel the call to respond.
Speaking at a prayer breakfast on Thursday, Reverend Paul Blake Jr., chairman of the Porus Ministries Association and coordinator of the Porus Renew initiative, said that events will span several weeks.
But for the rest of this month, starting on the 22nd, we'll be having street meetings, spot meetings in some of these volatile communities, some of these hotspots that the police have put out. So we're going in to have spot meetings. On the 25th, we're having a children's rally. So we're also targeting the children. We have been in schools having devotions and continue to have support within the schools. And on the 26th, right at the Baptist Church in Porus, just across from the police station, we'll have a mega street meeting and a concert, a gospel concert, to just bring it home. And then we come back again in April for the Manchester 10,000 men and family march.
Meanwhile, Bishop Rowan Edwards, chairman of the 10,000 Men and Families movement, is sending a message to those seeking to incite violence in the parish.
It's time for us to change the way how we behave in our communities. and in this nation. We want to see Jamaicans live loving and be kind to one another. So the few men and women who are pushing the wrong things and pushing up the murder rate in this community, we are sending you a message that Jamaica doesn't belong to you alone. They are hard-working citizens in this community.
Edwards emphasized that the community seeks peace and normalcy, and those causing violence must recognize it is not theirs to control.
We want to see Jamaica change. And so that's the reason why we're here, to send a message loud and clear that Porus belongs to all, not just a few.
He expressed a desire to see a reduction in Jamaica's murder rate.
We want to take this down in 2025 below the 1,000 range. And so we're calling on all Jamaicans to come together. Let's bring the murder rate down below the 1,000 range for 2025.
In 2024, major crimes in Manchester dropped by 19% compared to 2023, but the number of murders rose to 50 from 44. Porus had 5 murders between September and December. Britannia Uto, CVM News.
The recent pardon of Marcus Garvey and to other civil rights leaders overseas has reignited discussions on justice, race and historical reconciliation in the United States. Speaking on CVM's lead story, Professor Rupert Lewis shared his insights on the decision and its broader implications.
Well, what President Biden has done with this pardon is to open the door for further legal action by the Congress for the exoneration of Marcus Garvey. I therefore welcome the pardon, because without that pardon, we would not have the benefit of the Chief Executive of the United States platform, his bully pulpit, so to speak, that reaches far and wide.
Meanwhile, attorney-at-law Bert Samuel stressed the significance of addressing historical wrongdoings.
And it's important that his whirlwind that he said he would come in, that yesterday was part of that whirlwind, which means that the resurrection, the bringing back into fore of his teachings has come about since the name Garvey has been called in the last 24 hours more than any other name that we could think of. And that is the value of it, that it has put to the fore all that has happened to him, particularly the persecution of Garvey is a part of American history. And that what goes with this pardoning is that there was wrong done in the past. And we know who was in power at the time. We know the work of the FBI, who planted spies in the Garvey movement. And he's been exonerated at this moment. So the importance of it is, it will take long in coming, but it has come. It's sometime a long walk, I would say, to exoneration.
And Kingston Mayor nswma has also expressed his support of the pardon of Marcus Garvey, emphasizing Garvey's lasting impact on Jamaica and the global African diaspora.
The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation and the municipality in a whole welcome the news of President Biden pardoning our first national hero, but not only national hero, but someone who had walked the halls of the KCAC. He was elected in this council some years ago, and just last year we had honored him with naming the chamber, the Marcus Garvey Council Chamber. We had welcomed this, as I indicated earlier, this announcement, and not only that, we would love to see a total exoneration of Marcus Garvey, but we are appreciative of this small step that was made, and it all do good well for us to encourage Jamaica and the Jamaican government to continue to push for the total exoneration of Marcus Garvey.
To other news now, nswma Executive Director Audley Gordon has dismissed claims that applicants for sanitation cleaning roles at the National Solid Waste Management Authority are being turned away. Here are the details from Adrian Williams.
With talks surfacing that the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, is turning away applicants to join their sanitation staff due to lack of literacy qualifications, Executive Director Audley Gordon rubbishes that claim.
We have never turned away people. If that happens, that's an aberration. It should never have happened. We always engage you and then try and upskill you. At the level of sweeping, we sanitation workers, we are very, very understanding of the sensitivities that exist.
With more emphasis being placed on the labor force upskilling themselves, Gordon believes workers should always aim to improve themselves.
So encouraging people is not a bad thing. To encouraging them to upskill and to upgrade themselves and to empower themselves more through education, that's not a bad thing. The good news is we encourage people to do literacy tests. We encourage people to get engaged in lifelong learning, and we have seen result out of that. We have seen where people even came into us, couldn't read, and now are able to pass CXC exams.
Adrian Williams reporting for CVM News.
Stay with us, our discussion segment after this break.
We needed to raise capital, but our experience with local financial institutions was that they were cautious and slow to act, and interest rates were far too high. We had real concerns about financing our business through outside equity investors and the possibility of interference. Could we get a fair valuation for our business? We had our own ideas about the business and its value. Should I go the traditional route of bank financing, or should I try the Jamaica Stock Exchange? So we made a call and experienced transformation of our business through conversations. I'm John Mahfood, CEO of Jamaican Teas, and we're listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Give us a call today at 876-967-3271 to begin your transformation through conversation. We want to see your company listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Are you interested in buying land or property? Here are the steps you should follow. Step 1. Find out who is legally authorized to sell the property. Step 2. Ensure all property tax payments are up to date. Step 3. Consult an attorney at law who will guide you through the process and protect your interests. You can also use eLand Jamaica to check on matters pertaining to your property purchase. For more information, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. Email asknla@nla.gov.jm or message us on WhatsApp at 876-418-5089. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, to serve you better.
Make money now with local City and Guilds and ABE endorsed certificates and Distinction College. Start new online and face-to-face classes very soon in our Make Money Now career courses and get qualified jobs worldwide or start your own business in practical pediatric, geriatric, and psychiatric nursing, phlebotomy and pharmacy technician, early childhood education, childcare, cashiering, call center, event planning, receptionist, customer service, housekeeping, waitering, food preparation, bartending, cake baking, plumbing, motor vehicle, electrical installation, air conditioning, makeup, hairdressing, nail technician, and cosmetology. No subjects acquired, no age limit. Register this week and get City and Guilds Maths and English classes for free. Call us at 3564167.
On our roads, remember, take time, be courteous, drive good, walk good. Don't drink alcohol and drive. Don't drive tired or sleepy. Don't tailgate and don't overtake unless it is safe to do so. And always drive at a speed which will allow you time to stop quickly and safely. Let's keep it safe on our roads.
Welcome back. It's time for our discussion segment. Jamaica is facing a significant challenge in human resources for health, HRH, with a critical shortage of skilled professionals threatening to impact the delivery of quality health care. Today we're joined by Jamaica's Health Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, and the Philippine Secretary of Health, Dr. Teodora Ubersa. Yes, forgive me. And together we'll be exploring the scale of Jamaica's HRH challenge and the efforts to overcome it. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Dr. Tufton, let's start with you. Describe for us the scale of the HRH challenge plaguing Jamaica currently.
It's significant, and I want to welcome my good friend, Dr. Herbosa, here. We have cases in the health field where we're short up to 50-60%, particularly in the specialized areas, specialized nurses, certain type of specialization in medicine, doctors, biotech engineers to maintain equipment, to maintain the plant. And as a consequence, it impacts people. It impacts people in terms of waiting. It impacts people in terms of the quality of delivery of service. And hence the need, because we don't have that capacity, and indeed we lose that capacity more than we are training them to North America, to Europe, and so on, the collaboration is necessary.
Certainly your ministry hasn't been idle. There's a historic career expo starting tomorrow.
Right.
What are the expectations going into that event?
So this is why my good friend is here, because the Philippines, for those who don't know, they have their own challenges, I'm sure, but they have demonstrated significant capacity in developing human resources for health. In fact, they are perhaps the largest exporter of healthcare workers to the world, turning out, I believe, 10,000 healthcare workers a year or something like that. He can speak for himself. The expo tomorrow, we will have the minister speaking, but it's really about engaging Jamaicans, firstly, to understand where the gaps are, and then, of course, to encourage them to fill those gaps by training or retraining. And that's at the University of the West Indies from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. both days, tomorrow and Thursday.
Fantastic. Doc, welcome to the island.
Oh, I'm happy to be here and feels at home.
How has the minister been treating you?
He is very hospitable. And we hit it off together when we were at Harvard.
Nice.
And we were both ministers of health and we were in an executive course. And I realized we have similar problems. The Jamaica health workers were being pirated by first world countries. So is the Philippines. Unfortunately, we were at that problem since the 1950s when America started building their hospitals. They started pirating our doctors and nurses. But we were able to build nursing schools and medical schools to adapt. After the US, other countries, the Middle East, Singapore, even now non-English speaking countries are taking our nurses. So we've become the solution to health human resource deficits in the world. So when we spoke, maybe we can do something on what's called the South-South collaboration. Instead of stopping the first world countries from pirating us, why don't we just help each other solve the problem of sending countries of what to do with the health system that's left behind?
It's a full circle moment, no?
It is. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm just saying it's a full circle moment. Two developing countries facing similar challenges, coming together to find solutions. Immediately, what are the priorities, Minister?
Well, the priority is to demonstrate that it is possible. And I believe the minister's visit is the first tangible indication of the willingness to collaborate. Clearly, we both see solutions in the collaboration. The next is to demonstrate success in a tangible way. And we are going to be signing an MOU in the next day or so. We are going to establish a working group. That group, we have already started working. We have identified the areas of specific collaboration. So, for example, technical exchange, where their technical healthcare people will come to Jamaica, vice versa, to do training, whether it's faculty or clinical rotation within the hospitals in the Philippines. We believe that this year we can start that. It's possible. And then beyond that, there are several other issues around developing strengthening health systems that we can both collaborate in. So the priority is really demonstrated starting with us being together now. And then from there, in the months to come, announcements around specific initiatives around that kind of technical cooperation.
By the way, this didn't start. Last December, a delegation from Jamaica visited the Philippines. So we toured this delegation led by Aero from Earl Green from the Ministry of Health, and we toured them in our heart centers, our kidney centers, our maternity centers, and our universities.
So it's an ongoing collaboration.
Yes, this is now work in progress, and we'll be signing an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, and we'll pick top 2 or 3 things to do immediately.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of sending some of our specific faculty to come here to train.
Very well. Minister, what do you see as the most or some of the most pressing health issues plaguing developing countries today?
Basically, healthcare is a service. And because it's a service, it's not about the equipment, it's not about the infrastructure, it's about people. So human resources for health are vital in any country that's trying to improve healthcare or trying to achieve universal health coverage. So that's very important. And training is an important part of that component. By bonding together, countries like Philippines and Jamaica can actually move forward faster together.
I see. Minister Tufton, one of the issues I hear you talking about is antimicrobial resistance. Where in this conversation does that take?
Well, it's really about the people that are available to provide the guidance. And then secondly,